Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 1, Under Locks and Keys. When we last left off, the party set out on their personal missions while Asari and Anna studied for the location of the final free key. The last key that is not either accounted for in the hands of the party or of the technology-obsessed boomergangers. However, while most of the quests went off shockingly smoothly, Greylog meditated among the wealth that had tempted him to prove his humility and sense of judgment to the druidic spirits, and Paul accompanied the druid back to Suicide Hollow, unwilling to let the spirit of the pirate captain continue to be cursed. Paul had his name changed to be the Bloody Captain's namesake, and has promised to use their fortune in foreign coins for only good for the rest of his life. In theory, the one thing that can lift the captain from his curse. But not all was entirely well. Asari and Anna hit a roadblock in their search for the key, as the compass insists that the next key is right here in Tortage, something that Anna believes to be impossible, or at the very least so unlikely as to not be worth investigating. And in the ensuing debate, the party has resolutely decided that they will investigate this lead themselves. And at the current moment, the compass seems to be pointing you to the den of the Western mafioso of Tortage, Don Campan, a supposedly bloodthirsty and feared gangster who Avaven suspects may have more altruistic means behind him. Having struck up something of a conversation, if not a friendship, with the daughter of the mafioso, Avaven has been given the secret way in to organize a meeting with the Don. Something the party is likely going to need to take advantage of if they intend to get a seat before the Godfather and see what he knows, if anything, and decide their next course. And that is where we pick back up. On the western side of Tortage, surrounded by hotels, casinos, and beautiful estates, you can see the distant airship port where the Brethren of the Coast would come to have meetings with the Don and other gangs of Tortage. You can see the various casinos where winnings can be won or lost in a day. And, Avaven, you had your sights set on a small, out-of-the-way shop in an alley nearest to one of the larger casinos. A place that you were directed to by Francesca as a deliberately out-of-the-way place and a series of codes that might be able to get you a seat with the Don. And that is where we will pick back up. The compass has been used for its time for the day, but has confirmed that, at the very least, if your suspicions are true, you're going the right way. What do you wish to do now?
Didn't we say we were going to go back to wait for the rest of the party?
The party, by this point, has gathered. Greylog ran a few errands in town real quick, and then you guys grouped up and, decided that you would investigate this matter.
I assumed it has been explained to us what's going on.
Yeah, Vaben mentioned in the last session that he's confident the Don has the item, even if he doesn't realize it himself, and thinks he can get you guys in to speak with him. What happens beyond that point, Anna is not confident will be peaceful.
Can I bring my staff, the golden staff, with me?
Of course.
He's going to keep it in his bag, but who knows? It might be a good bartering tool.
Okay. In that case, Vaben, willing to take the party into the small shop?
Yeah, do we have like everybody with us or just the party?
Just the party right now. Anna is not interested in coming along and said that she was going to follow up on her own leads at the lab, and the rest of the party, in terms of your like NPC companions, are down at the docks, just basically waiting for an update.
Okay. Um, yeah, we're gonna look to the rest of the party like. So this is where the compass was pointing. So it's probably a good place to start if you are all okay with that.
Yeah, lead the way.
I mean,
I-
I'm a bit hesitant if I'm being.
How so?
Well, I mean, they're bound to have like secret codes, right? Like this is
Well-
like an underground crime. I don't imagine they're going to be exactly friendly.
Well, I know the right codes to be able to see them, and at that point, as long as we don't do anything to piss them off, be respectful and all that, I'm sure we'll get out fine. From what I understand, he has an interest in us as well. This meeting was probably going to happen one way or another eventually.
I'm not entirely sure that's comforting.
Better to find out if he's an enemy or friend before we have to go up against the Boomerangers.
I guess let's go.
Oh, and before you head inside, just for my reference, so I know who's where, Vaven, you did mention you'd be interested in potentially having you all along for negotiation purposes. Do you still wish to do that?
It's not really his area of expertise.
Okay.
He's more of a political guy than he is, dealing with criminals.
Yeah,
guy.
he's not a dealer. All right. Leaving your party members for now either out of the loop entirely or just away where it's safe in case negotiations go sour. Make your way into the small boarded up shop. Inside is about what you expected. It looks like this place has been shuttered for years. The only indication that it's even still in business in any sense is the fact that the door is unlocked, allowing you entry, and the fact that the dusty shelves are lined with odd products. You can see shelves of various staves, staves, crystal balls, and wands, and Asari, you catch behind the counter things like playing cards and dice. It appears this was, at least at one point, a magic shop of some kind. However, as well as that, Paul, you notice that there is a small stall cart inside the building, about 3 of them lined up against one of the boarded up windows, which have what likely were intended to be various rations and fruit for customers, but have since long rotted, and filling the room with fruit flies and that acrid stench of rotting fruit, which, combined with how musty this room is, gives it this very kind of unpleasant, humid air to it. Greylog,
Okay.
for... Oh, go on.
Avaver was just going to tell the party, let me do the talking. At least for now. And Greylog, what was Greylog saying?
Oh, he's just thinking to himself, man, this smells better than the ship did.
And Greylog, the humidity gets a little bit worse for you as you hear a voice pipe up from the back room of the store. Oh, is that so? You're gonna break a girl's heart. And a woman steps out of one of the back doors and takes position behind the counter.
I love how you're just like a woman.
You see that from the looks of her, she is a half-breed. You can see a pair of bunny ears. Her nose has a very slight kind of pink tint
Oh
to it.
no.
And you can see a small little cottontail.
Oh no.
She is
Oh my
dressed in these tight latexes, a strapless corset, black sheer-to-waist pantyhose, a brilliant yellow bow tie, a high collar, fluffy cuffs on her wrists, and a yellow and pink bow in her hair with several daisies and lavender flowers braided within. Her hair is long and red. Her eyeshadow and lipstick are lavender colored, and her figure is, shall we say, full.
I hate you so much.
So I am so curious. He didn't say any of that out loud. So how does she hear him?
How indeed.
Well,
Do I
Vaven will
recognize her?
approach. Oh. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, and yeah, Avaven, as you approach, Greylog roll history, and Avaven, go ahead and say what you were going to say. Greylog, keep your roll on standby.
Vaven is going to say the words he was said to say. Well, how do you do today? I was needing to acquire some fruit past its date and a wand.
Oh, is that so, dear? Well, Angel is happy to provide for a customer. And she begins to saunter away from the counter, past a sliding door, and begins to take the products off of the shelves, not seeming to even flinch as she picks up a rotten-looking fruit and plucks a seemingly random wand off the shelf. Greylog history?
This was actually a natural 20.
You don't recognize her from anywhere. You're confident you would remember her if you'd had.
Interesting.
As she returns to the counter with Avaven's requests, she starts to do the math to tally up what it's all worth. But as she does so, she kind of tilts her head side to side and looks to you, Avaven, and gives you a smile. You know, if you don't mind, could I get your opinion on something?
Very well.
I'm thinking about changing my outfit soon. Something flashy to bring in more customers. What color do you think would suit me the best? Be honest.
I don't know. I hear yellow is quite fashionable these days.
Oh, yes, it is, dear. She nods to you, but her eyes flick over the rest of the party kind of suspiciously, and she leans forward to you. Sorry, you appreciate the motion.
It's just like standing there, just looking down at her, like, hello.
And these are your plus ones, I assume?
Yes, I believe we were expected.
Can't help but be too careful, darling. You know how troublesome those thieves on the east side can be.
Oh yes, they truly are trouble.
Go on through the back. The Godfather is expecting you. I would be careful with your words, though, dears. He's fallen ill recently, and he's been in a rather foul mood as a result.
Well, hopefully we will not take too much of his time.
Of course, dear. And without even asking if you actually wanted them, she just heads past the counter to put the products you had requested back. But she looks over her shoulder to the rest of you in the party and gives you a wink and a saunter of her hips.
Yes.
Shall we head to the back?
Yes.
Yes, I think would be advisable.
Yeah, sorry, obviously hasn't taken eyes off of the girl. She's like, that was too much.
Tiny little thing.
Vabin, you lead the group out of the back door that she had come in through. And while you had assumed it simply led deeper into the store, you realize with a brief startle that it actually leads behind it, out into the back alleys.
Interesting.
And looking around your immediate vicinity, you see that, as mentioned, this store is right next door to the casino. But you notice that the casino has a second floor, only accessible from this direction. A small staircase, kind of like one of those emergency fire escapes you see in apartments. Chains up the side of the building to a ornate-looking, but still somewhat disguised. Like, ornate in that, it's made out of good wood and has some gold trim, but it's not, like, super elaborate and gaudy at the top of it all. Beyond that, there's nothing around you but the expanse of the Tortasian coast. The rocky black volcanic rock crunkling beneath your feet. Paul, you can't help but notice that this back alley smells like cigarettes.
Paul is like, bad life choices.
No. I'm thinking. How do I get that cigarette smell out?
God, I hope that doesn't cling to my suit.
Gotta get that perfect solution.
I guess if anyone will lead them up to the door.
Alright. You lead the party up the fire escape to the ornate doors, and no idea what to expect. You all brace yourselves as a Vabin.
I did not
Yes.
muted.
What's up?
I was just trying to say that all it takes is just a little bit of to get it out.
It doesn't want its secrets revealed. If she cut out, it refuses to be
Nobody gets to
known.
know how to get that smell out. That smell
Oh.
sticks.
Rip me, hello.
Hello.
Hi. So the secret is baking soda and vinegar.
Ah.
That's
What?
apparently the secret to everything when it
soda?
comes
Oh, yeah.
to laundering.
Don't
Very
ever
little can't be solved with vinegar.
Yeah, don't underestimate vinegar.
As you give a knock, there's a silence before the door is opened. Standing before you, you see a somewhat unremarkable looking man. His skin is somewhat pale, his blonde hair is slicked back, but he's wearing a very nice suit and set of sunglasses. And he looks you all up and down very slowly and carefully before you hear a voice pipe up from deeper in the room, from somewhere you can't see. Hey, Vinny. Is that those little traveler friends of ours coming to make the negotiations and the whatnot? Well, let them in, you goon. The man with the slick back hair gives you all a nod and a bow and steps aside to allow you entry.
Okay, question: is he supposed to be Italian or something?
He's just kind of vague mobster accent.
Yeah.
Like,
This
That
mobster accent.
was definitely vague, mobster, honey.
I will say, out of character, I remember this character, and I
Yeah,
remember when they were created.
I cannot take credit for this character.
I was like, it does sound like something that you would play. No offense.
No, it's absolutely something I would play. Are you kidding? I would love to play like just a mafia goon in a game at some point. I should do that.
Well, I meant because I meant Hunter. Because
Oh.
you know because you were saying that he was the one that created it, right?
No,
Oh.
yeah, it was another friend of ours.
Yeah, he was just there whenever you created it. He knew about it.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I would still see you playing it too.
Well, I can't remember. Were you there, Austin, when he came up with this?
If I was, I don't remember.
But looking within, you may decide for yourselves, of course, if you enter fully. You see a very swanky looking office. A fine velvet rug with gold trim lies across the floor. The stone is smooth cut and ornate. The walls are lined with shelves and bookshelves. The shelves themselves just displaying various ornate plants, and the bookshelves packed to the brim with various odd, exotic literature. At the furthest end of the room away from you, you see a desk with a large chair that currently has its back to you, and at the far end of the room, you see a set of windows, some of which are built into the casino and allow someone in here to look down in it. But you also see some of the windows are built along the sides, allowing a view of the town and its various views. Aben, you can't help but notice you can see the Hangman's Noose in the town square from here. And the other side, a beautiful view of the sea.
I guess
In the
we
room
shall
at the moment.
enter.
As you lead the way in, you see that it appears to just be you guys, this mobster who the voice addressed as Vinny, and Don Campan himself, as he turns in his chair to behold all of you, just as Vinny shuts the door. Looking at him, you're not quite sure what you were expecting, but it wasn't this. Before you is a remarkably average-looking man, somewhat pudgy, a very fine suit and black fedora. He has what appears to be a cigarette in his mouth, and in his lap he is cradling what appears to be a strange-looking blunderbuss. On his desk, you can
At least
see
it wasn't
various...
a cat.
On his desk, you can see various books and documents, along with several bottles of what appear to be a dwarvish drink.
Oh, goodness, party.
And as he leans forward to observe all of you carefully, you see that his hair is slightly grayed, has this kind of silvery look to it, and his eyes are a beautiful twinkling gold.
Interesting.
He's got some different
I remember-
ancestry in there.
I know.
Weren't the gold eyes supposed to be Atlantean?
Baby,
Time.
you want? Hello.
Hello.
All I heard was time.
Jeremy was asking
You said-
questions, I was just answering it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's all he did say.
I know that there's definitely something in there that isn't pure human.
Excuse
Just
me.
from discussions me and Matthew have had.
Don't talk to me like that.
The man considers you all for a moment before he speaks. Well now, before we get started with the negotiating, let me just say, Vinny, you'll know I didn't mean a word of it. I love you, you're no goon to me. Vinny gives him a small bow. Of course, boss.
It is an honor to meet you, sir.
Yeah, I sorry, just be like, nice hat.
It is, isn't it? Gift from the wife. I wasn't sure the look suited me, but when I saw her dashing smile when she saw me wear it for the first time, I mean, how does a man say no to that?
One
You
doesn't.
can't. Yeah, I was gonna say you can't.
Now, I will admit to myself being a bit on the side of confused. Not to say this unexpected meeting isn't enjoyable. I've been interested in meeting you fellas and putting faces to the names for some time now. But, and I hope you don't think me impatient, but frankly, I expected it a bit sooner. And why you're coming now is lost on me. But you are always welcome in my home as long as you're in my town. Never feel like you're strangers. But what can I help you with?
Well, I guess to explain our absence up to this point, while we have based in Tortage, we have tended to spend not a lot of time in town. Things have always been happening and drawing us elsewhere.
Hey, I understand the feeling of being too busy for your britches. Believe me, if I told you the amount of hours I work in a week to keep this business afloat, you would not believe me, literally. But if you haven't had the time to enjoy the sights and smells of Tortage, then let me be the first to tell you, welcome. This town welcomes you. Long as you're on my turf, your family. Never forget that.
And we appreciate the
Like the elf said, we've been really busy. We didn't even know there was a west side to this place.
Campan gives a smile, and the west side. Hoping to expand down the road, but you know how it is. These people, they only speak the language of bullets flying and people bleeding out in the dirt, and that's just not Mr. Campan's style. You dig? Vinny, you dig, yeah? Yeah, I dig, boss.
They also speak money.
Uh, the universal currency and language, as it were.
That it is.
But the reason for our visit is there are certain items we have been tasked to collect, and we believe one of them may be in Tortage. And we thought, who better to start with than the Don, to see if you might know anything about any magical items that have come to the island recently.
Magical items.
Hopefully within the last 100 years or so.
I may be old, but I'm not quite that old, my friend.
We're not talking just regular run-of-the-mill magic items. We're talking like
Perhaps an heirloom?
items that draw interest from higher powers.
I see. I see. He takes the cigarette out of his mouth and kind of twirls it between his fingers thoughtfully. Well, on this front, I'm afraid the Godfather has to disappoint you. But I do have some good news to soften the wound. Which one do you want to hear first?
Guess let's just get straight to the point about it.
Yeah, I mean, bad news, good news. Just give us the news, I suppose.
That's the spirit. Never looked a gift newsy in the mouth. He leans back and puts the cigarette back in his mouth, continuing to cradle his firearm. Bad news? I'm afraid I can't help you there. I have quite a few exotic valuables of a divine persuasion in my collection, but assuming you're looking for what I think you're looking for, and what I think you're looking for is what I know you're looking for, it's not here. But I do know where it's going and where it's gonna end up, overseeing the transfer myself.
I see. Can Avaven do an insight check?
Absolutely.
19.
You definitely get the impression there's something he's not telling you, and he seems kind of visibly uncomfortable when he mentions that it's not here, but he is overseeing its transfer.
I do not mean to impose, but it does. Is there something about this that worries you, Don?
Oh, my line of work, you get all kinds of worries. If it wasn't for you, I'd still be having to do a worry and a half for my son and his boy. But thanks to you guys, I don't have to worry about that no more. They're safe and sound and exactly where they want to be.
Doing very well, might I add.
He gives you a smile and a nod. You have my thanks, Mr. Orchin. He leans back and kind of thoughtfully drums his fingers on the desk as he thinks. No, it is not these items that concern me. It is an honor to be bestowed something like that and be entrusted with keeping it safe. No, more my problem is that I can't necessarily just be giving it out to just anyone, you know? And you've done a lot of good for me in the past, but a favor's a favor, and Don Campan never goes back on his word. But I can offer you a compromise, a negotiating, if you will.
Very well.
All ears.
Any of yous ever been to that, what is it? That curious museum they have in Yav? What was the name? Dr. Shanatural's Cathedral of Curiosities. Name ring a bell?
Does that ring a bell? I feel like
Roll
it's.
history.
I feel like it does.
I feel like it wouldn't ring a bell to Aveva because he's never been to Yob.
Outside
Other
of
than that
once.
one
Yeah.
time. And he didn't exactly see much of it.
Fuck you, D&D Beyond.
One more time. Just the number.
16.
You do recognize the name. You saw it written on one of the sarcophagi
Yeah.
in Captain Red's ship.
Asari just kind of gives like a pensive look. Well, it was on this sarcophagi, if that's what you mean.
Dr. Shanatural collects a lot of the things like this, and now this is just between you and me. I get it, people gotta run a business, no judgment being cast, just giving you the facts. Most of what he's showing the people ain't the real deal, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I did notice that.
Now, ordinarily, that would be true, but there was a little bit of a mix-up, you see, and he got the real one by mistake. I was given the one that was supposed to go to him. So I could give you the key right here, right now, but it wouldn't do you no good. I might as well just be giving you a cardboard key to a real treasure chest. But it was technically my job to look after it. You make sure that it gets to the museum so we can do the switcheroo. I'll talk to the doctor, get it all sorted over. You won't be in any trouble. And we'll get you all situated with your key. As a favor for what you've done for my sons.
Sounds simple enough, right, guys?
If I might ask, is there any kind of catch to this? It just sounds a little too simple.
I know it's hard to believe, my friend, but you have nothing to fear from me. Like I said, you live on my turf, you drink from my inns, you build taverns on my land. You're family to me, and I would never betray family.
I completely can see that. But what about this doctor guy?
The
Hey.
doctor's a personal friend of mine. We go back a long ways. Used to travel together back in the day. He may be a bit of a Barnum, but he's got a good heart. Brilliant mind, too. Genius.
And of
You
course
trust
there
him?
are...
I'm sorry, you go first.
And of course there are other groups interested in these items.
So I've heard. You've attracted a lot of attention to yourselves. The bees without hives are scouring the world looking for these things to catch up with yous. And these boomerganger fellows have been making a ruckus in this town for years.
I haven't given you any trouble, have they?
They send their people to proselytize in my town, and I'm all for giving people their freedom of speech and practice of their religion, but I do draw the line at harassing people on the streets. That's just, it's bad for business, and it's not going to get you into whatever cell phone heaven it is that you think you're going to get to.
Well, what do you think?
If it's as easy as you say of just switching the keys, then let's do it.
You trust this doctor wholeheartedly?
I'm sorry, young lady, my hearing not what it used to be. Could you run that by me one more time?
I do apologize. I'm a little sore. You trust this doctor wholeheartedly?
I definitely do. He was the one who let me know about the mistake and wanted me to correct it. And whenever I got wind that you guys were coming to ask after me, I thought, well, why not feed two birds with one seed? You get your key, and the doctor gets his mix-up sorted, and I successfully do all of my favors.
I'm game if you guys are.
Just
You have the
one
fake to switch it with?
That I do, my friend, that I do.
Just one more question also, if you don't mind.
Please, Mr. Orchin, ask away. Never be a stranger. You always can talk to me about anything.
Oh my
So-
god.
Since you're doing us a favor, do we owe you anything in return? Or is us switching the key equaling it out?
You are doing me a real solid helping me with this. You see, and as he is saying this, he stands up and starts kind of scribbling through the bookshelves as if he's looking for a specific tome. I try to be good to just about everyone, but in my line of work, you still make your fair share of enemies. I figure by now, someone or another, some wise guy's gotten the clue that I got one of the keys, you see. And even if they didn't know that, where we're going, assassinations are kind of a dime a dozen. And of course, if something happens to me, then, well, as long as nobody got hurt, I would hate for somebody to injure himself taking me out. But if this key's as important as you guys seem to think it is, then the last thing I want is for it to fall into hands that might not have the best of intentions for it.
Understandable.
Fair.
Some people thought it impossible the key could be on Tortage because they didn't think anyone here could not abuse it.
Well, I suppose if I had one, maybe I would. And he pulls a book from the bookshelf, a completely unremarkable one that none of you had glanced twice at. Looking at it, you see that this imitation key is a leather-bound book, sealed in what Greylog you recognize to be cold iron locks. Asari, you see several magical ward spells placed on it. And Avaben, you see a series of locks, mundane and otherwise, running down it that basically impede any form of someone getting in unless they're intended to get in. And Paul, on the spine of the book, you see it says, The Book of Time.
What do I know
exactly
about
is
this
this
item?
key?
Hello?
Mr. Orchin, one more time.
I was asking what I know about the item.
Roll history. And looking to you, Avaben, what's up?
I'm sorry. I was trying to say I also would like to see if I know anything about it.
Okay, roll history.
Okay.
And Avaben, turning to you. As for you, Mr. Glotha, what we're going after is the complete chronology of time. If you
It's a
believe...
book about time.
I got a 15.
Alright, Greylog?
Well,
If you believe the stories, the book, once you get it open, has the entire history of the universe in it. It even changes based on what people are doing right in the here and now. But it messes with your brain bad to read something like this, especially a lot. Mortal brains aren't meant to take that kind of stress, you understand. Not to mention, a lot of people don't like knowing what's coming if they can't do nothing to change it.
Hang on, you're trying to tell me that right there in your hand is a vortex of time and space.
Oh no,
No.
that's a copy.
this is a fake.
This is a prop for tourists coming to the museum. What we're going after, and is currently a prop for tourists in a museum, is the real deal. Which, yes. Very astute, young lady. I can see you very much earned your doctorate.
So having
Sorry, just-
interacted with the Fae a lot, being elves and all, do we know anything about like how this book might work?
Roll history as well. And once I get yours, I'll rattle off what everyone knows from their checks.
Is it like can I look at? I know it's
I
gonna
got a
be.
14.
Can I look at it? Does it have like? Can I look at it?
You can take a look if you like, miss, but be warned, the locks are booby-trapped.
I mean, just touching it is, an honor itself.
Again, this is the fake.
I understand, Vaben.
It's pretty fooling at least.
And she's an archaeologist. Even if it's a replica, I can understand getting overwhelmed by wanting to see something that most people aren't even lucky enough to get to see the fake version of, let alone the real deal. Yous guys are so special, yours getting to see both. And he kind of pats you on the shoulder, Vaben, in a very, fatherly manner as he passes off the book to Asari.
Cool, Matthew. I would like to study the tome and see if I can figure out the candle lights.
Roll Arcana.
Ooh.
And in the meantime, I'll start with everyone, but then I'll mention it once you, the character, do not have the ongoing information. The complete chronology of time is said to be a gift from the gods, only bestowed on those with great potential for chronomancy, one of the most difficult and delicate magical arts in the known arcane universe. Very, very few casters can alter time. And it is also said in legend that once the gods offer you this book, you cannot turn it down. Greylog, that's the extent of your knowledge. Avaben and Asari. According to the stories you've heard, they at least corroborate what Campan is claiming. This book is said to contain the entire history of the universe and change in real time based on present actions that are altering it. But it is said that only one creature can ever read it at a time, and that even then, the strain it puts on your brain is so overwhelming that many who read it do not survive. Most use it to either learn of coming misfortunes and how to avoid them, or the ambitious use it to guarantee future success. After all, in theory, you could flip ahead in the book, check the winning lottery numbers for that day, and then just go and do that.
So for my Arcana, 24.
But it sees the future as well.
Yes, it's the entire history of the universe and changes in real time based on the present.
You can literally rewrite the future. It's cool.
Asari, this knowledge is known only to you. When you were told about this book in your schooling, legend spoke that the one with the book could use it to commune with something. Nobody knows exactly what the book lets you communicate with, all that's known is that legends of those who have wielded it corroborate the idea that they spoke to something. Some legends say it's momentum, the dimension of forward energy and time. Others say it's the otherworld, as Avaven postulated, a land where reality thins and time is non-linear. Still others say that the book allows you to commune with a completely unknown outer god. Nobody knows what this god's name is, and it is never spoken in the legends. However, its symbology is recurring throughout all of its archaeological records. Those who spoke with the entity in the book and did not claim any of the other sources would just draw a sigil representing this outer god, the sigil being that of a 20-sided dice.
Okay. Okay. I'm just so from my Arcana check, because I was trying to see if I couldn't figure out the locks and maybe some booby traps.
Yeah. Looking over it, the arcane locking spells and glyphs are in a completely alien tongue. You understand that they're magic and you can basically read it, but this is ancient spellcraft that you can barely make sense of. And just as you're using your archaeological brain to start translating some of it, you realize the runes are changing in real time, preventing you from studying it and getting a good grasp on it.
Huh.
Can I read it so I can read all writing?
If you can get it out of Asari's hands.
Just looking over her shoulder.
How is it changing on this one, if this is a fake?
Magic.
It's an illusion spell. You don't know how it is. Gotta make it look convincing for the tourists.
Can I ascertain if it's like actually an illusion?
With your previous Arcana check, I will say you're not positive one way or the other. If it is an illusion, it's a damn good one. But you've also never seen anything like this in any form of magic. Magic that changes by itself with no need for a spellcaster to sit there and fiddle with it manually.
Okay, I'm gonna look up to Dawn and just kind of give a look of concern. I'm not entirely sure this is a illusion spell. If it's an illusion spell, it's a really good one, but I've never seen anything like it.
Also, Greylock, since you wanted to try and translate the runes, roll Arcana.
I get advantage so I can read all languages.
No, because Asari can read this too, and again, it's changing constantly, so it didn't do her any good.
So whenever I was making that history roll, I was kind of also wondering if, like, you know, in experiences with the Fae, like, are they able to manipulate time, or have they ever
Not
mentioned
directly.
manipulation of time?
Yeah, that one I'll give you since you've lived among them. They don't directly manipulate time per se. It's more that the best way I can phrase it is that they exist outside of it. When they're in their realm, the outside world could be passing in seconds, it could be passing in decades. They don't really have a very strong grip on time. And while they are normally at least semi-benevolent when it comes to those who live in the forest, and elves are immortal anyway, so it's not too big of a deal for them. But you have heard stories of people getting taken by the Spriggans to play. From the Spriggans' perspective, they just played for maybe a few hours. But when the hapless elf was released back into the forest after they had their fun, decades have passed. Centuries. But as far as you know, that control is just an unintentional side effect of the nature of the world they come from. They exist outside of time, but as far as you know, they do not directly control it.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they've never really mentioned this book.
They've mentioned it in passing, just in the form of essentially stories, which is where you know at least as much as you do.
The stories they've told of it.
Mm-hmm.
They ever tell stories of like how one knows what is going to happen from it if it's always changing? Does it become
only-
like set once you read it?
They never gave you a crystal clear answer on the matter, because, as you well know, they are seldom crystal clear about anything. But to your knowledge, at least what was implied is that either, yes, the future just becomes set in stone once you read it, or because you presumably read what was between the present and then, you most likely could simply just reenact what you saw in the book because you know it's going to work this time. It'd be comforting to, go present that product or make that speech when you know already if it's going to go poorly or well.
Or if you know
I'm sorry,
what version
did-
of the speech works?
Did Dawn reply
Yeah.
to me yet? Because I've been waiting on that. Okay.
Not yet. And Greylog Arcana?
It was only a 16.
Yeah, similar to Asari. Again, you know it's like this ancient language that's tricky to read, but you can at least get through it. But again, as you're attempting to decipher a consistent pattern, the words and letters scramble, making it hard. Like, you keep having to restart the sentence over and over because it's changing constantly. You imagine translation is possible, but would require a superhuman intellect.
Not his guidance.
And I mean, even Asari, was struggling, so.
Speaking of, and Asari, in response to your statement, he gives a bit of a smile and... You like it? Nice little bit of spellcraft. Now, I admit I've been out of the game for quite some time now, but I like to think that this old dog's still got a few good tricks. At the very least, enough to get a good illusion spell placed on a book. And he kind of pats the leather cover of it.
So you put
They
the
say-
spell on this.
He gives a smile and... Would you believe I was a bard back in the day?
No, I mean that's completely fine. Do you mind dispelling it?
I'm afraid the doctor's gonna want this thing looking as convincing as possible when we get there. But if it makes you feel better, I can take it off during the trip, but like I said, you're not gonna get a whole lot out of it. The actual book itself is just gibberish we put down to make it look good.
Well, we just want to make sure that it was actually switched and this isn't actually the
Yeah,
real one.
I have a lot of concerns. I know that you trust this guy, but I mean,
We also, the Boomerangers could have fed false information to get the real one brought out.
yeah, there's so many possibilities.
That's alright, that's alright. Here, give me it back, I'll dispel the illusion, and we can all be nice and comfy.
Then I guess you could put it back on right before.
I
you give it to
I will gingerly hand it back to him.
And he gives you a smile of Aben. Of course, I don't want any of you feeling like you can't trust me or that there's something fishy in the air. If there's something fishy, I want to make sure we're the first ones to know about it.
Exactly, and it's not that we don't trust you. It's this other guy we have never even met.
Hey, no, I'm not casting no judgments. It's very smart of you to be concerned with strangers. I like to think a stranger's just a friend you haven't met yet, but sometimes a friend likes to sneak a knife in your back while he's hugging you.
My God, he's too precious.
I don't trust him.
I'm sorry. I love him so much. I don't know why.
He sets the leather-bound book on his desk, places a hand over it. He begins to speak, kind of mumbling to himself. But all of you feel this surge of emotions in your heart. And you can see Vinny even reaches up to wipe a tear out of one of his eyes as this beautiful, angelic voice fills the office. As he casts or rather dispels his illusion. And it fades. While the mundane locks remain, the arcane ruins are no longer present, leaving a unnecessarily secure looking, but otherwise unremarkable to the eye book.
Can I just kind of grabby hands?
Of course, miss. Look as carefully as you like. And
Like,
he hands it back to you
re-examine
as he
it.
turns to the other party members.
I am scrutinizing this thing.
Also,
Now.
Vaven will just be like, "Oh, it has been a very pleasant talk."
Oh, and it's been a very good pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry our introductions had to be so hectic, but let me say, it is a pleasure to meet all of you, and I do not forget a face nor a friend. I'm going to make sure that when we head to the museum, you are getting the luxury treatment. You ever taken a train ride before, my friend?
Does Vaven even know what a train is?
You did pass a rail yard while you were in Yav, but railways have not come to Perugia yet, at least not in the areas you live. So, no, you are unfamiliar.
Not just for fun, I'm gonna roll a history on this.
Go for it. In the meantime, I'm sorry if you're going to be scrutinizing, roll investigation. Paul
I
and
rolled
Greylog.
a 3.
Noted. Paul and Greylog, anything from you real quick before we continue? Just don't want anyone getting steamrolled.
I guess he'd offer to, get us there quicker. Since we've been to Yav, he could just teleport us there.
Well, if you're willing to do that, my friend, then I'm certainly not going to object. I am not one to turn down a service when it is freely offered to me, but I want to make sure all of yous have the chance to just relax. You know, I'm sure all of these adventures and trips have been very strenuous on you. Said it yourself, you haven't had time to sit down and let your ass get numb in a while. I'm sorry, I shouldn't swear. It's unbecoming of me.
I got a dirty 20, Matthew. A filthy, dirty 20.
Looking over the book. Yeah, seems unremarkable. Well, with the illusion gone, it seems like just a boring, locked up book.
Okay, but like, what about like the writings and the locks? Like, do they?
Well, because the writings were just an illusion that is now gone, and the locks are mundane, but you would have to crack those in order to see the inside.
Do these have keys? So I can look inside.
I do have a key, but I want to remind you that you're not exactly supposed to be looking inside.
But it is fake.
If it's fake, I'll be all right. It's a risk I'm willing to take for you.
All right, if you insist. And Avaben, you are unaware of what a train is.
Vaven just, like, whenever he asks, "Have you ever been on a train?" Vaven's like, "What's a train?"
Think like a boat, except it's on land and very comfortable. You don't have to work, you don't have to do nothing, don't even have to get seasick. You just sit there, eat some peanuts, sit in a comfy room, and it takes you where you want to go.
Does Vaven know what a peanut is?
Roll nature.
Like, are those common in Perugia?
Not particularly, but let's see where you're at.
Or to find out he's actually
What
like,
is happening right now?
I got a 24.
Oh my
You
god.
He's
are-
good at nature, so...
Yeah, Ranger. They're not super common, at least not around your area, but peanuts, otherwise known as ground nuts, do at least pass through your area through trade, but they're not like native. So you're vaguely familiar. You're
Has
aware.
Vaven ever tried a peanut?
I'll leave that up to you. You certainly could have.
I'm gonna roll history for it.
Go for it.
no, one, allergic to
9.
peanuts.
Yeah, it turns out he's allergic. Peaches, why are you goofing at me?
I rolled a 9.
You have not tasted the salty delicacy that is a peanut.
Never had a peanut before.
Well, there's a first time for everything, my friend, unless you're allergic, in which case I will make sure the best trained doctors get a look at you. You're gonna be fine.
What do you mean? Are they
Oh,
dangerous?
Nah, they're not dangerous, friend. It's just, you know how it is, and he kind of gives a bit of a shrug. These sorts of things, there's always some poor people out there who just can't enjoy certain things without their faces swelling up, or their tongues getting too big, or
Do elves
sometimes...
have allergies?
Yes, all creatures pretty much have allergies of some kind.
Okay. I wonder if Avaben has any allergies.
He sets the book down, and Vaben, as you contemplate, is there any foods I can't eat? He turns back to Greylog, and as I was saying, I'm not going to turn you down if that's what you want to do. But if you can get us to where we need to be, then more's the better, but I want to make sure you guys get a nice chance to enjoy yourselves. Consider it me returning the favor for what you did for my boys. All expenses paid by me. You don't have to pay a copper.
That is incredibly generous.
It's the least I can do. Your family, and I take care of family. And Asari, without even bothering to mess with any of the locks, he just pulls the book open.
Oh, interesting. She's just like, wait, what? Okay, I'm gonna open up the book and I want to start reading.
Is
You
it
immediately-
gibberish?
Yeah, you immediately pull the book to yourself, eyes wide and ready to consume.
Zoom!
Blank.
Complete
It's all
gibberish.
gibberish.
It is complete gobbledygook.
Are you
It's
satisfied
French.
now?
All right, I feel much better now.
Oh, that's
This
so
is
good to hear. I don't want anyone being
100%.
uncomfortable.
I like I said, we've never even met this guy. I like you said, we're family, and I'm protective of my family.
Hey, that is a good instinct to have. You're gonna go far here, I guarantee it.
I mean, the families that aren't technically my family.
He gives you a smile, and family of choice always matters more. What's that old saying the humans have? The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
That's true.
Oh, and I'm so sorry. He looks to you, Alfred, and I've been sitting here talking business with your chums, and I have not gotten any one-on-one time with a sharp-dressed man like yourself. Is there anything I can help you with?
Well, I've just been thinking here, would you mind if I were to, use some of the magic I am capable of that just see some things?
Of course, my friend. You are welcome to do anything that makes you feel more at home here in my home.
Okay. I was gonna cast Detect Poison Disease.
You cast Detect Poison and Disease. You do not sense anything odd. However, you do notice that the Dawn himself has what appears to be a minor addiction of some kind, and I know it's not technically a disease, but I'll still count it under the umbrella of the spell. You can tell that he is suffering some stress-related heart issues. But other than that, you don't notice anything odd. I will also say you notice that the cigarette that he's smoking does not give off poison or disease, implying it is likely either fake or not actually being used.
Alright. He's gonna walk up to the Dawn. And, he said that technically you're and under the spells, it's considered a disease, right? You know?
Yeah, I'll allow that.
He will, yeah, he will ask for the Dawn's hand.
Oh, there's no need for such formalities with me, my friend. You don't have to kiss the ring or nothing like that.
Well, I mean, I honestly wasn't thinking that. That's a custom here. I don't know about it, but
Uh, Forgive an old man his ramblings. And he places his hand in yours. It's very soft.
so you take care of yourself, well, to some degree, and he will cast Lay on Hands. 5 points to cure a disease.
Okay.
Was
Are
he
you
cure
going
the
to-
heart condition?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you going to use this to treat both of his problems and use up more points, or just treat whichever one comes first, basically?
Oh, that'll. I
Yeah,
will
because he has an
do.
addiction of some kind and a heart condition.
I will do both.
All right. You'll watch as Paul funnels healing energy into the Don's hand, and you hadn't really noticed it before. It only becomes obvious in its absence. The Don's beautiful eyes had taken you out of the fact that he had bags under them, implying he hadn't been sleeping well. And as Paul funnels healing energy into him, the bags begin to lift. His breathing becomes gentler. And he places a hand on his chest, seeming almost confused for a moment. That's some healing magic you got there. And you're wasting it on an old man like me.
I'm not sure if I call it a waste. I prefer to help people when I can, and I was informed that you were under the weather, so figured
It's true. I'm sorry if I've been losing my temper with all of yous. I've been in a very bad sorts lately.
No, into my recollection, you've been nothing but sweet.
Oh, that's delightful. Thank you so much. He keeps his hand on his chest and breathes slowly. That is a relief. Thank you, my friend. I owe you a debt of gratitude, and I always pay back my debts.
Oh God, the big healing guy.
He's more than just that, if half the stories I've heard is true. You fought in that wrestling ring back on Plundon, wasn't that true?
yes, I prefer not to fight.
Hey, I'm not much of a fighter myself. This baby here, and he holds up the odd-looking blunderbuss, not even loaded. And he points it at the ceiling and pulls the trigger. And Asara, you kind of jolt as there is a bang, but just some confetti comes out.
Well, it could still be a useful club.
Delightful. Asari like flinches, and then like once she returns his face, she's like, oh.
And to you, Avaven, he kind of gives a smile, and much like your friend here, I'm not exactly one for confrontation. I think it's better to resolve your problems with words rather than using violence.
Hey, you're a lover, not a fighter, and that's okay.
So, if you all feel comfortable about this plan, then I'll make all the arrangements. You guys, you sit on your hindies, you don't do a thing. I'll make sure your boys are ready to go soon. I have my boys on the dock, talk to your boys on the breaker. We'll head out for Yav, and if we don't want to take the shortcut, you can look forward to a nice, relaxing little trip.
But I don't know about relaxing. Is she single? She like thumbs over to like Angel.
Angel, my lady downstairs. She's been single for a hot minute now, ever since she went on the outs with her old party.
It's a shame.
It wasn't so bad. The adventure was over, they all went their separate ways. She wound up here with me. I hear one of them got a job delivering mail around these parts.
Oh, that's interesting.
Venture to mail deliverer.
Yeah, I
Sounds
mean,
like a
it's not-
downgrade.
yeah, it's not exciting.
Hey, we can't all be unlocking legendary treasures and sealing up old curses. You'd be surprised how much of an adventurer's day-to-day is just finding lost puppies and delivering mail. I can't tell you how many rats I've had to get out of basements.
Honestly, if my day consisted of finding lost puppies, I think I would actually be very happy.
But then they wouldn't have the spirit of discovery you're so happy about, would it?
Well, you could discover puppies.
I do like discovering new puppy dogs.
I mean, it's a new hobby, is finding dogs.
He gives a smile and looks over all of you and puts his hands together on the desk as he sits back down and slides the open book back towards him and shuts it. So, if we're all in agreement, you all go home, get yourself a nice sleep. I'll make the arrangements, and if it's all good with you, I think we can be ready to head out by tomorrow.
Sounds good to me.
And don't you worry, I'll have eyes and ears all over this island. If any of those jokers, and I don't mean to say jokers, I'm sure they've got their reasons, but if you don't want them getting their hands on this key, then I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
It
Sounds
would be
good.
preferable.
Now, if there's anything else I can do for all of you, please do not be a stranger. I'll tell Angel to let you right through. No need for all this password gobbledygook. And, Mr. Glather, can I call you a Vaven?
You may.
I just want to say thank you for being a friend to my daughter.
Well,
Aw.
she was quite nice. You have a good daughter.
And, I hear it's Mr. Gory now. Mr. Gory, thank you for being such a good Samaritan to the people of this town. Now, they may not always seem like they deserve it, but it's people like you that keep this world spinning round proper. I wanted to thank you about that, from the lord of this town to you. Dr. Koo, thank you for lending your intellectual brilliance to this quest. And may I say it is an honor to be helping in such a big adventure for such a brilliant doctor. If it wasn't for you, we'd probably, I'm sure all your friends would still be scrambling around on Key 4.
She kind of gives a, oh, you.
Finally, he looks to you, Greylog, and he kind of sizes you up for a minute. And Mr. Orchin. Make sure you enjoy yourself, but don't forget, it's not all about killing bad guys and getting rich when you're adventuring. Sometimes you learn something. And he kind of tips his hat to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn all the time now. I
Hey,
still stumble, but it's a process.
Hey, no baby learned to walk on its first day. Except for snakes. Snakes got it figured out.
Yeah,
Me
They
get
never
Think
up.
about it,
walk, they
worms
just
are in the
crawl.
same situation.
You know, that's very true. We don't often give a lot of appreciation to the common worm. Vinny, will you please show our fine guests out of my establishment? But you are not strangers, and I will come find you in your little laboratory whenever I'm ready to go.
Maybe
Yeah, I'll-
give a little bit of warning.
yeah, give a little bit of warning. Anna is.
Some of our friends are quite spooked
Yeah, they're
by
little.
this.
It's nothing personal. Of course.
Hey, I do not begrudge it. I know that I work in a grimy business and I do my best to keep my hands clean, but I don't expect people to see the shine from that far away. I haven't done her any favors, I don't expect her to do any favors for me. And let me just say, with that in mind, I do still consider her one of my own. Thank you for taking care of her. Should have been my people down on the docks that day keeping her safe. You stepped up. Thank you.
She's my best friend. I don't want anything to happen to her.
I mean, technically, Alfred here is the only one left from that time.
Which is why I have to thank the Good Samaritan.
Good title for you.
Yeah, we can make that your new wrestling nickname if you don't like the whole butler brutality thing. The Good Samaritan.
I think that fits you very well.
I mean, I guess it is better than the other name, but
I know you're not eager to throw your hands back in the ring anytime soon, and I give you my word as the Godfather. You will not have to hurt anyone on this little romp of ours. We're on a well-traveled little train ride. I'll be there with my people, making sure you're safe, you're making sure I'm safe. And if anything happens, let me take care of it. You don't have to lift a finger. Vinny leans over you guys' shoulders and, any more business with the boss?
I think that concludes everything.
Yes, Angel. No, I don't want to time.
I'll put in a good word for you. You have my word on that. And let me just say, it was a real pleasure meeting all of you. You guys are some of the best we've had in this town in a long time. And this is a town full of good folks.
Just you, like, finger guns.
Vinny,
Well, that's not what anybody says. I think he's nice. As they're like going back.
yeah, Vinny escorts you all back onto the fire escape before unpromptly turning on his heel and shutting the door to his office, leaving you all in the back alley behind the store.
Guess we will head back.
I'm gonna go back into the store. I don't know where you guys are going.
Yeah, Vaven doesn't need to see this shit.
Yeah,
All right.
Greylog's trying to be good, you know? He's got a path of enlightenment ahead of him. It doesn't involve any funny women.
Any bunny women?
I mean, there are more than one ways to enlightenment. I'm just saying.
All
That's
right,
not
Paul,
the enlightenment he's wanting.
Paul, anything from you?
nope. You will return back, and I guess let the doctors know.
Okay.
Yeah, Vaven will do the same. Let them know that, well, despite what everybody thought, it actually went quite well.
Could I say that Ari folded up a piece of paper for somebody to give to Anna?
Yeah, sure.
And then Anna opens it and just says, "I'm sorry," with a like crooked heart.
Roll persuasion.
Yeah, Vaven will tell her how he basically told us where it is. And he says it's
Ooh,
in
21.
Yav.
Anna crosses her arms, taking the rolled up ball of paper from Paul, and as she unfurls it, she pauses briefly and looks up to you. Well, that does line up.
Can I remember the name of the museum?
Yeah.
Oddities. That's all I can remember right now in my state.
Yeah, I remember something oddities.
Dr. Shernatural's Cathedral of Curiosities.
Unnatural.
Yeah, Vaven will say.
Curiosity is not oddity.
Doctor what?
Shernaturals.
Curiosity.
Sure naturals?
Here, I'll put it in chat.
I guess you could say it's all natural.
Maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
I mean, if you think about it, if you make a book out of leather, wouldn't it be all natural?
Yes.
I mean,
Because-
yeah, technically.
Because it would have paper made from a tree.
But then at that point, it's like, how do you define natural? Because technically anything is natural because it's made out of stuff we can get.
I was literally having this conversation like a couple hours ago with Jeremy about animism.
So basically what you're saying is all natural is a meaningless term.
If you're willing to extrapolate, basically.
Yeah, it depends on how far you go. Yeah.
All right. Like I
Did
said,
you?
I'm gonna
Hold
go.
on, am I in the right chat? I'm not in the right chat.
I'm gonna go flirt
So
with the
it's
bunny.
Doctors, Naturals, Cathedral Curiosity. So they will say it's there.
Yeah,
Apparently-
naturals.
Apparently, he was supposed to give him a fake, and the Don was gonna keep the actual one.
Must some kind of mix-up.
Yeah, he said there was a mix-up, and so now we're going to be going on a trip to bring the fake there and get the real one.
And just for my reference, I'm assuming you fill her in on pretty much all the details.
Yeah, and
Okay.
he's actually really nice.
She kind of hums a bit in thought and unfurls Asari's note and kind of squints at it for a moment before pocketing it, her face not betraying any obvious emotion. Well, I'm glad you all made it back safe. I still don't trust this guy, but
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to trust him with all the details, but at the very least, it seems, for now, our interests align.
Oh yeah, I'm not there, so I can't be all like,
Yeah, you're chasing some
flirting.
fluffy tail.
yeah, you're literally chasing tail.
I'm. I mean, hello.
Not me this time.
Just
Yeah, but I don't have to worry about angering the old gods.
Oh.
well, I'm glad that my theory was confirmed at least. I thought the book might be next. The things that book can do. You wouldn't mind letting me have a
You
look
do
at
know
it.
what that
Hell
thing
no,
can do
girl.
to your...
I'm getting first dibs. Nuh-uh, girlfriend.
I think it's like, you do need to remember what that book apparently does to people.
Right.
I don't think any of us get to look at that book, actually.
She
I
kind of
don't think I
bites her
would want
lip.
to look in that book.
Yeah, it's no secret what books like that tend to do to people.
Yeah, and we need everyone here, and not insanity crazed people who have read it.
She
Joke
kind of
on the word Reddit.
Mhm. She kind of smirks a little bit, but you see her expression kind of falter briefly as she looks to you. Everyone?
Everyone.
That does seem to get a smile out of her. And she clears her throat.
I feel like we should apologize for causing you any worry.
It's all right. I've been in this town for too long. It's messing with my head, and I don't know. I just felt like you guys were so confident that you would make it out of this okay that you didn't care what happened to me.
Well, if you're ever worried about yourself, just let us know, and I'll even set you up like a little secret bunker in my tavern, like full guards and everything.
Nah. I can handle the boomergangers. I can handle a few besuited whack jobs with baseball bats. But
Besides, if we even get wind that something like that could happen, I assure you, we would probably burn this whole town down for you.
thanks, Avaben. And
And it may
Maybe
not
the whole
entirely...
town. I want my tavern to stay intact.
Oh, let's be honest. It'd probably get caught in the crossfire.
crossfire. Well, if it's, I guess if we're extending olive branches, I haven't just been sitting here wallowing in my misery. Once you guys told me your plan, I decided to start making my own. And from the sounds of it, we might be able to make use of both. I didn't know that it was at the cathedral, but that makes it a lot easier. Once Asari and I figured out that the next key was going to be in Yav, by the time we got there, I sent some letters to Alfred's family.
Oh, really?
And once I had at least narrowed down that I suspected it was the complete chronology of time, I asked if they knew how to get their hands on it. And they said that they know a necromancer who may be able to get a hold of it for us, or at least put us in the right area where it is. My guess is either because it's the real one, or because he just wants to make a fake look very convincing. I guess it depends on how much he knows. There's some tight security on that book, but this necromancer friend of your family's, Al's, can get us past all that.
I'm squinting at you, Matthew.
But is she suddenly an expert in dealing with security and robbery?
I'm not even there, bro. I said I'm squinting at Matthew.
It ain't much, but it's a lead, and at the very least, if we're going to be taking the express, I can, if you want, Al, I don't want to make things awkward and overstep, but I can invite your family to come with us. You know, that sounds nice, don't it? Nice train ride with all of our friends and family. If the Don keeps his word, we don't even have to fight anyone. We just chill on a train for a little while. Go to a museum. This necromancer can get us past all the security, and, well, Bob's your uncle. We have the book, and whatever it is the Don's getting out of this, apparently he's getting it.
I think he's... From what I gather, it's kind of he's completing a promise he made.
He say to who?
If I had to guess, I would probably say the gods. Since he's supposed to be guarding the thing, and, well, it got switched on him.
Maybe. Unbelievable. What are the gods thinking?
They're
Not a
probably
place to
thinking
really say
you
anything.
wouldn't expect this move.
Can't say I expected it either. Well,
I think the gods probably know how crafty their subjects can be.
ain't that the truth?
But they gotta get a little unorthodox. I mean, they already gave one to pirates.
She gives a kind of side-to-side nod. Well, I guess I'll start packing my bags then. If your new friend hasn't done it already, I'll pass word on to the crew that we'll be leaving soon. They've been eager for the next bite anyway. We're getting close. I can feel it.
Yeah, we're almost there. Next, we just have to go, beat the crap out of some space people. Or wherever they're at.
I still have no idea how we're even gonna get there.
Oh, I
Well,
got a
they must
feeling
have some
they'll
way to
come
get there
us.
and back, so...
Yeah, maybe we can do a hijacking. Some kind of space boat. Space boat.
It may not be a bad idea.
That's ridiculous. A boat can't go into space.
It's a boat.
Well, if you think about it, a boat moves because of wind. If you could somehow maybe get an updraft and had a boat that was light enough, like an airship.
She kind of giggles a little bit, but, well, let's save the blueprinting for whenever we need it. For now, honestly, I hope you guys are right trusting him, at least as much as you are. I could use a vacation.
Also, what is the Express?
Oh, the Tieshin Express. I'm guessing that's the train he's referring to. Runs all the way across the west side of Yob.
Yeah, I still don't know what a train is either.
Oh, I mean, basically it's like a land boat.
That's what I heard. That's what the Don said.
She
What
kind
is
of
it?
does it
Does
like
it have
that.
sails?
No, I mean, I'm not an engineer, but from how it's been explained to me, they just have a fire running up front, and that makes it move. Some kind of magic, maybe?
Would have
Also,
even known this kind of magic.
Rourke.
Just to give you a little context, Jeremy, this is the same train that we all met in the second campaign.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew.
Though, it also did somewhat occur to me that the Dawn already knew a lot about what we were planning.
So I'm making Arcana.
Yes.
Where the fuck is? Oh, there it is. I rolled a 16.
Okay.
Like roll well on a roll that is already incorrect.
I mean, you've definitely heard of magics like this. Heck, you remember Paul has actually told you a story himself that he once encountered a fire elemental that was powering a machine, so it's possible that Anna's describing something like that.
So is it like a fire elemental in a machine like Paul sorry, Alfred ran into one time?
Maybe. Certainly seems like it works the same way. And
I hope they ask the fire elemental first.
she kind of smirks a little bit, and you're hard pressed getting an elemental to do anything it doesn't want to do. Even the best summoners have trouble controlling him. And she looks
Yeah,
to you,
I notice
Greylog.
Greylog sometimes have issues with his setting things on fire.
Yeah, and that's one of the little weaker ones. If it was a proper biggin, there'd be no stopping it.
Yeah,
And
we're more friends.
she gives you a smile. Oh, that's good to hear. And as for your question, sorry, I guess observation? I mean, that does concern me, but I mean, he is the Dawn. I guess it's sort of his job to know these things. And we already know our crew has unfortunately loose lips once they get some drink in them. My guess is Compan or one of his goons got one of them drunk. They spilled everything they knew and reported back to the Godfather. I don't like it, but that's the way things are. We just have to hope that he's not going to use that against us.
Well, they better hope that, what was the little pirate girl? You know, the one with the big attitude that
The
hired
one
us?
who hired us?
Erica, yes.
Yeah, they better hope Erica doesn't find out that they were a little loose-lipped.
Yeah, that tends to not look good on a mercenary contract. But who knows? I know that girl and the Dawn are friends. Honestly, she may have told him everything herself.
Well, then they'll be fine. If not, well,
I won't tell if you won't.
yeah, I like these guys.
They've served us well for pirates. I'll give them that.
And we just spent a while trying to convince someone they weren't pirates.
Yeah,
No,
that was,
not that they weren't pirates, but that we weren't pirates.
I'm still impressed we managed to get out of that in one piece.
Yeah, you and me both.
Like I said, I think all of us could use a vacation.
I
Yeah.
wonder if they're like band pirates, were there band pirates on other trains?
I think that would just be highwaymen.
Or did they roll up on another train, like next to it, and fire cannons or something, like a ship?
She kind of, you can see her kind of picturing it, but she eventually gets like a smirk on her face and just, I don't think that's how it works. That would be, pardon my Francian, but that would be dope.
No. Doesn't
Well.
even know what that means.
Roll, I guess, a wisdom check?
I would say more intelligence, honestly.
Well, because wisdom is meant to be like street smarts.
Yeah, fair.
I rolled a 10.
Yeah, you've heard it used in the context of an insult.
Why you think it'd be bad?
And no, you ever heard someone say like, "Oh, that's fat," but they spell it with a ph, so it makes it good?
Wisdom save. It was just a wisdom check.
Yeah, check.
No, it turns out it's save.
I rolled a 5.
Oh no.
You've only heard that in the bad way.
Yeah, isn't that like an insult? for people who like eat too much?
Uh, okay,
I
wow.
really wish Asari was here.
Okay, let me.
You get preferred it with the rabbit.
Hey,
Is you all and Ollie here?
I got nothing.
And yeah, they. Well, they're actually down at the docks at the moment, but you can just head down to grab them.
Can we have like one of them check in real quick?
Sure. The door opens, and you all pokes his head in. You can see Ollie kind of hovering in the doorway. Hey, got wind you guys came back from the west side. Everything go well?
Yeah, it went fine, but do you know what dope means?
Like you're a dope, or like something is dope?
I think she meant the second one, because I don't think she meant the insult.
Yeah, I've known this guy for over a year, and I'm just figuring out that he doesn't get slang.
Well, I mean, I have been pretty isolated in my life.
She kind of gives a bit of a smile, and
He's been pretty ace-elated.
Oh my god.
if it makes you feel any better, it took me a while to get the hang of that sort of thing too. Asara used to rib me about it all the time back in our college days. You have any idea how long it took me to realize that being called a Goomba was a bad thing? I just thought it was some foreign word that meant something nice.
No, I imagine Asari was like, no, honey, it's not a compliment.
I don't think a vape would have heard of that term either.
Even Greylog doesn't know that one. I don't need to roll any save to figure that one out.
Anna spends some time breaking down slang for you, Avaven. As Paul and Greylog, you're left to relax and prepare for the coming journey. And Asari, roll persuasion.
I like how they use modern slang in this setting.
Welcome to D&D, the world of anachronisms.
I'm so scared.
While she's doing that, I need to go get more milk because this is spicy food.
No!
Go for it.
Oh, no! No! I hate
Oh, she's having a meltdown.
So,
Greylog would
natural
actually
20?
like to take Paul out to the fancier side of town and the rest of the group that are available, just to try the finer cuisine.
Okay.
you. I rolled a 3, so 6.
Angel
Vital
is,
for rabbits.
Angel is flattered, but says that you're not her type. She is looking for somebody with a sense of humor.
Oh my god. I'm funny.
Of course you are, dear. Run along now. Thanks for stopping by.
Turns around, leaves, hating everything.
Alright. Greylog and Alfred, as you make your way back to the west side, you see Asari storming out of the rundown shop with a emotional cloud over her.
No, I just imagine it's like one of those fucking cartoon things where like it's just like a bubble, like just like scribble in the bubble.
Did he pop the bubble and like? Okay, sorry. Why don't we go try some new food, huh? You want to try the fancier cuisine?
I'm not hungry.
Get over the rabbit and come get some food.
Are you
Like,
gonna?
like he is not making it optional anymore.
She sighs dejectedly.
If the three of you wish to partake in West Side Tortage enjoyments, each of you, or one of you if you're willing to pool, 4 gold for a day on the town.
I will pay that. Yes, Paul does have gold, but this is more slightly selfish on his part because he is wanting to spoil his friends.
Aw.
So I'm paying.
Okay.
Oh.
And Asura doesn't have any money.
Being a
Put it-
start.
Putting out 12 gold, you make your way to that fancy diner that Avaven had passed through during his trek into town, and the chef there serves you a delectable broth. It uses a lot of mushrooms and meats of things that are actually hunted on the island, but despite the kind of homemade nature of it all, it's nothing short of delicious.
Do they have like meat? Just meat?
Yes, it is being served in the broth, but it is also, you can also get it separately if you want.
Yeah, just a plate full of meat.
Particularly bunny.
Do they have
No,
rabbit on? Do they have rabbit? Do they have rabbit?
Alright, I'm
Tried
back.
that.
What happened?
It was denied.
Sorry.
Did Asari strike out?
Yeah, she rolled a 6 on
yeah.
persuasion, and she's not Angel's type to begin with, so...
Now, I wonder if Greylog could have gotten her if he was interested. She
Maybe.
did seem interested.
And she is currently just stocking up. They went to that fancy restaurant you passed by while looking for information. And Isari is currently digging into a rabbit stew.
Oh, though.
Oh no!
He did invite all of them, so if Ivan, right? Or am I getting my characters mixed up again?
No, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if they wanted to go too, he would pay for them too.
Any preference of Aben?
Wait, what's going on?
They're visiting that fancy restaurant you went to when you came through the west side, and Greylog's
Greylog
paying
is
for everyone if you want
paying
to tag
for
along.
everyone who wants to go, including his friends.
I don't know if I will look to you all. Do you want to go have dinner?
Well, it would be nice to eat something that's not travel rations. Ollie kind of quirks a brow and just, what's the matter with travel rations? Just, too salty. In fact, it's nothing but salt in a lot of cases.
You see that's why you want cured meat instead of salted meat.
He kind of does that like bleh thing with his tongue. Greylog, 8 more gold. And you all spend a nice day on the west side, fine dining. The chef, a very kindly, if nearsighted old woman, is a fantastic cook. And about midway through the day, you notice that she starts just giving you margaritas and refills
Does the baby know what this drink is?
Roll nature.
Well, I can't imagine this is very common in Perugia either.
Before you do that, Asari is gonna look over to you and just kind of give a smile. All you need to know is that it tastes really good. Just try it.
I'm gonna roll nature. 25.
You actually, while it's not common where you're from for obvious reasons, you are familiar with the concept of what this is. It's just fancy alcohol.
Or maybe we'll
Really
give it a
roll
tentative sip.
concepts.
Oh my god. You guys want to do shots? That would be so fun. Where's Anna when I...
Why would you want to shoot somebody right now?
No. Okay, I'm gonna just order a round of shots.
Also, if
And
even
I'm gonna
sips
teach
the
them how to
drink.
do shots.
Avaben sipping the drink. Much like everything else, it's pretty good. It has this sweetness to it that you wouldn't expect from something alcoholic, but while you wonder if maybe it won't have the intended effect, shall we say, you immediately feel this kind of warmth in your torso, and a smile begins to cross your face as, it's not like unnaturally strong, but it's definitely there. You notice though, delicious as mentioned, but really spicy.
Oh my god, I love those. Now I want a margarita.
It's this weird back and forth of like super sweet, yet it has this super spicy aftertaste. Overall, it tastes like a weird mix of honey, peach, and coconut.
Ooh.
Again, with that ever-present spiciness once the taste is
Raven's gonna look to you all like, have you ever tried this kind of drink?
Not this specific one, but if we have the bits removed, I've partaken once or twice. Foreign dignitaries typically bring it as a olive branch, and well, it'd be rude not to at that point, especially the dwarves. The dwarves know their brew.
At this point, Asari's like lining up shots for everyone. Alright, is everyone ready?
What is this?
We're doing shots!
All you have to
Again,
do-
why are you trying to shoot people?
all you have to do is drink, sweetie.
You take the shot glass and you throw it back. You take it all in one go.
Oh,
means
the
drink
drink is a shot.
It's
Everything
called
my
a shot
parents-
because
so
you
young.
shoot it back.
Like, my parents weren't exactly at a bar constantly, considering they had a child to take care of by themselves.
They have had a lot of fun in college.
All right.
Shot, shot,
We
shot.
will tentatively sip this so-called shot.
It's just straight up tequila. Jello shots. Jello shots.
Vaben's just... God, knowing how strong tequila is, Vaben probably is just... Like, he kind of tastes it, and then, like, reels back.
You all kind of looks at you sympathetically and pats you on the back in case you start coughing and just slides his margarita towards you.
Come on, Ben. Don't be like that.
Stop peer pressuring him, Asari.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll have his shots from now on.
We will go back to drinking the sweet fruity drink.
All right.
Fruity.
Let's see, let's make a con save to see how drunk he gets.
Yeah, I was gonna say for funsies, if you guys are just gonna basically drink for most of the night, those of you, because Paul, I know you're probably not drinking. Everyone else, yeah, make Constitution saves.
Funny enough,
Oh yeah.
it wouldn't matter if I was drinking, because
Oh yeah, true. You're immune to poisons now.
I can't get drunk. Oh no, I'm immune
Not
to
all of us
disease.
have stomachs of steel.
Despite everything, Vaben apparently is a strong drinker. Natural 20.
Nice.
All right.
I got a 15.
Okay. Greylog?
Natural one. With a -1
Oh
to
my
my
god.
con. So wait, no,
Zero.
it's a +1.
Okay, so natural 1, but a 2.
Yes.
Right.
Maven, it's actually a noted thing that elf. You all mentioned offhandedly that the dwarves make very strong brews, which they do. That is very true. Their alcohol is meant to be used on creatures with very strong immune systems that would filter the toxins. However, it is an often underappreciated fact that elves have some of the strongest metabolisms on the planet, and their alcohol has to be custom made as a result. Avaven, you would know that elvish wine is borderline unpalatable for non-elves. It is just like everything you don't like about tequila, like cranked up times 10.
Oh no, I personally like tequila.
I just mean
I-
that strong, like, ugh, whenever you're like, especially when you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like Fireball?
Yeah.
I had a fireball, not bad.
with that
Honestly,
in
Fireball's
mind,
not even that strong.
Not a
with that
moonshot.
in
Well,
mind,
when you
Faven,
drink a big thing of it is.
while you're not doing shots like everyone else is, you know, you're still slurping down on a margarita, and the nice old lady keeps filling it back up for you. You're not really drunk by the end of the night, but you do have a kind of tingle in your fingers that you didn't have before. Sorry, you're pretty tipsy, but you've got like a decent hold on yourself. You are
Greylog is passed out drunk.
Yeah, you are just barely maintaining any coherent sobriety. The same cannot be said of Greylog, who is currently piss drunk and is just straight up sick on the floor at one point.
I like to think he's changing his form randomly throughout the night.
Can I just like pick up the fucking goop and just try to take him to bed?
Yes.
Pick up the
And
goop.
Greylog, you realize maybe taking 2 people's shots at a time was not the best plan.
Probably not. And just, I hate to say this, he's going to add salt to the wound for sorry. Not intentionally. He's going to turn into the rabbit.
No!
The last one before he passes out for the night.
Just like tuck him in and just be like, you owe me. And leaves.
You all spend a lovely night on the west side of George. You drink, you make merry, and for the first time in a while, Tortage actually feels almost like home. Avaven, as your friends get drunk and wander off one by one, you all, eventually rejoined by Ollie, just strike up conversation, chatting in the bar. The nice old lady continues to offer you refills.
Oh yeah, Raven will be like, I hear this place has some nice rooms if you want a little change of scenery. Who knows? Maybe there's a little more fun to be had tonight. And Raven kind of gives you all that look.
I know that look.
Ollie kind of rolls her eyes and does that like kind of thing and wanders off. You all kind of gives you a smile and all right. You have a spot in mind?
What, wasn't there like a really nice place somewhere?
There is some ritzier hotels in this area, yes.
Which one seemed the nicest?
There is one across the street from that casino you went past to get to the Dawn. That appears to be the nicest one. Likely it is the Mafia's personal one. But it appears to be the highest quality and the cleanest, at least by Tortage standards.
Alright, he'll pick that one.
Even more so than my tavern?
Yes, actually.
Man, he's got to pick up the pace.
Well, bear in mind, not just anyone can go to the west side. So yours is the finest for the people who are confined to the rest of the island.
It's second nicest.
Mm-hmm. 8 gold, Avaven. And
That's enough for 2 people.
yeah.
And Raven will just put in a request for minimal disturbance.
Which the clerk, a kind of young, unimpressed looking elvish boy, if he picks up what's going on, his customer service face is enough to not show it. He just gives you your key and a nod and assures you that you will not be disturbed. Eventually, Alfred, as Ollie wanders back to the docks, you all and Avaben head deeper into the west side looking for a hotel, and Greylog, unconscious, is carried off by Asari. You are left alone, and the chef gives you a kindly smile and one last refill on drinks and food before... What would you like to do? business, or you can tend to just tuck in for the night and be ready for what comes tomorrow.
I will, for now, Paul will, or Alfred will be done for the night.
All right. In varying states of sobriety, you all tuck in for the night. You all get a long rest. However, Greylog, you are nursing an insane hangover when you wake up the following morning.
Or like Avaven and you all cuddling when they wake up.
Yes.
I like to think Greylog goes to get some more alcohol. He calls it recovering.
Oh my god,
Yeah, you gotta
that's
take
the
your
Hair-
worst,
medicine.
that's the
Hair
worst
of dog.
idea.
No,
That is the
like
thing.
I've actually read where people actually, if you drink a little bit of alcohol in the morning afterwards, it actually gets rid of your hangover.
Hair of the dog.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's true, I don't know.
I
But
think
I've
it
read
is. It's like not to like bring back some of it, but might just make it worse later.
Yeah, you might just be putting off the hangover.
be on a nice train with a hangover than not.
True. You all slowly reassemble at the Hella Good Tavern.
That's something Avaven was gonna say when they woke up.
Go for it.
Wasn't there a time your dad found us like this?
It's been a while. I think I remember that, yeah.
Didn't
was
he try to
furious.
run me out of the house?
Yeah. To be fair, we both knew you weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah, but you know how it is with those types. It's just so fun to do the exact opposite of what they say.
That sort of thinking is going to get you in, well, more trouble one of these days. As you all regroup at the Hella Good Tavern, Greylog throwing back a drink to nurse your hangover. Eventually, Anna appears, heavy-looking backpack in tow, ready for travel, but she looks kind of nervous and antsy as she looks around. And eventually she sits down on one of the bar stools near you, Greylog, and kind of spinning around, kicking her feet as she does so. So, well, this is what we're doing then? Did he just say to wait for him?
He just said he would come get us when he had everything set up for us.
She kind of gives a slow nod, and I let the crew know. They're getting the breaker ready.
Sorry.
Wonder how they're feeling possibly having someone of this stature on their ship.
It depends on who you ask. I don't think the first mate trusts him very much. The lower mate's pretty excited. I think the swab's convinced he can get Campan to tell him a bunch of stories. As for the captain, well, I don't know what to think. The captain just nodded like it was the most normal thing in the world. Might as well have just told him the weather.
What is the weather today?
Vaben, you saw it on the way here. It was, as usual for Torridge, cloudy skies, but otherwise sunny. Weather in Torridge can be a bit turbulent, so it's not uncommon for brief rainstorms to pass through, but so far it's been clear today.
So yeah,
Yeah,
sorry
you
it's
all
gonna
for
come-
telling me I need to
my
practice
God.
small talk.
What
You
that
all
mean
gives
is?
you... One more time?
Rip.
I think she's having a bad connection.
And you all puts a hand on your shoulder, Vaven, and smiles encouragingly, and Anna gives you a smile as well. No, sorry, that's appreciated, actually. Yeah, Weather in Tortage is never exactly, well, good, but could be worse. Where we're going, I suspect it's going to be a lot worse.
Probably going to be colder.
She gives a nod. Eventually,
Probably even worse than Perusian winters.
you think a Perusian winter is bad, wait till you get a Yavik one. I hear it gets so cold in the northern parts that no one can live there. Even the elves can barely stand it.
Are the elves usually a little more resistant to cold?
She gives a bit of a shrug, and
No, that was an out-of-character question.
not more so than a human, but they have magical defenses that humans lack.
Interesting.
Okay, is it working now?
Yes.
Sorry, I was just trying to say that I was gonna come downstairs and join the group.
Okay.
And we'll try to get you some new headphones soon, man. I think that's probably the problem.
Yeah, because the internet side of things has been relatively good so far. Eventually, you're only waiting for about 15 minutes before the doors are opened. You recognize Vinny and another gangster dressed in a similar suit with similarly slicked back hair, although his skin and hair are both darker. And Vinny kind of does a quick head count of all of you, and the boss is ready for you, but he said that you requested a warning.
Yes, that was for our friend's benefit. Thank you.
Vinny gives a bow, steps to the side, the other gangster flanking him. And after a moment, more gangsters begin to file in.
Brought a whole posse.
Greylog, you can see your staff kind of looking a bit nervous and filing to keep their distance. As, in the end, about 20, 30 goons file in. Before finally...
Are we at the tavern?
Yes. Until finally, you see the Don himself. And hand in hand with his daughter, the woman from the docks.
Maybe we'll give her a nod.
Which she smiles sweetly and waves to you. You all kind of puts an arm around your shoulders and pulls you in, kind of staring at her.
Have I even just I'm like, what?
Nothing.
Oh, come on, we've been down this road before.
He kind of smirks at you.
Oh, well, I guess technically me and Ollie were down this road before.
He looks like he's gonna make a joke, but he kind of straightens out once Don Campan begins to speak. Hello, everyone. May I just say, real pleasure seeing all of your fabulous mugs again after so long apart.
I raise my coffee at him.
I heard from my chef that you've been enjoying the fineries of the West Side, and let me just say, I hope that she provided everything you asked for. I told her to put it on the Don's tab, and anything you make back will go to the betterment of this city. I understand people still got businesses to run, but, you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do sometime.
Honestly,
Well, I hope you don't mind. I paid her anyways.
Yeah.
Like I said, people got businesses to run. I respect it, and I respect you. And he points his fingers to you, Greylog, as he makes his way into the tavern. Anna kind of visibly shrinking into her jacket a bit as the Dawn gets closer to her.
And can I just wrap my arm around her and just hold her, just to make her feel secure.
She kind of squirms a little bit in your grip, and seemingly more out of stubborn pride, straightens herself out and stares at the Dawn.
Oh no, I'm. There's no way in hell. And I just try to just hold on to her.
Are we doing this?
First
We are
the
doing this.
rabbit, and now this.
She's my best friend. I just want to comfort her.
Now, all of the arrangements has been made. I've gotten us the tickets, the train's ready. It's gonna take us some time to get there. I know your friends on the boat are going as fast as they can, working very hard. I'm in no rush. I'm getting older every day, but I still got plenty of time left in me. And you know, gives you time to ruminate on your thoughts, contemplate your place in the world. I think it's important for someone to not be afraid to be alone with their own thoughts. I bet you know what that's like. And he points to you, sorry.
Sorry, it looks like she has no idea what that's like.
And if something you don't know, you'll have to figure it out someday. Your brain's not going anywhere. Other people, they'll find their place. Now, as for us and finding our place, you got a lovely crew, great crew, wouldn't change anything. Gonna be bringing a few of my guys along, but it's just so that we can pull our weight. I want you and your crew to have a nice chance to relax. Enjoy yourselves. Think of this as a free vacation, courtesy of Compan.
I mean, I'm not going to argue. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I'll still help where I can.
I'd expect nothing less of the Good Samaritan.
Eh. Greg might too. He likes to be busy.
Hey, busy hands make for better times.
Raven will just add, oh, and that place across the street for your casino is quite nice.
Thank you. That is the dinery of my personal chef, old friend of mine. We go back a long ways. I helped her get her business set up. I owed her a favor, and she's been helping me with my cookeries ever since. Me, I'm a disaster in the kitchen. Wife has to take care of it. I burn toast.
I mean, in a way,
God.
toast
This
is
dude's
just burnt bread.
hilarious.
Honestly, I've burnt water, so I mean,
How do you burn water?
We all
Don't
have our
ask.
text.
I usually do the cooking for us.
He gives you all a smile, but that's all I had to say. Just didn't want you to be intimidated when you saw that I had a little retinue with me. Understand, I'm technically not supposed to be here. This is slaver territory. I don't approve of their work, but, you know, gotta respect gang boundaries. If something were to happen to me, well, our deal's off. I've told Vinny that if something happens to me, to make sure everything still gets done, but I don't want to put that kind of pressure on Vinny's shoulders, not to mention it makes things confusing for all of yous. I think it's best for all of us if I stay alive for a little bit.
I couldn't agree more.
Definitely. So before we head out, would you all like a drink? For the road, you know.
Oh, Daddy, can we? Well, I suppose it would be rude to not take on your hospitality, my friend.
If you don't want the little one to have alcohol, we do have non-alcoholic ones.
Actually, I was going to request the same for me. Do you have any of that dwarvish soda?
Does he?
It's a fairly popular brand here. I'd say if you're stocking like most of the like big brands, you probably have it.
Oh yeah, then yes. And he will definitely get the bulb.
Francesca, for her part, orders the strongest vodka you have.
Isn't she supposed to be a kiddo?
Yes.
I will pass a glance at her dad to see what he says.
You know what they say about kids. If you tell them not to do something, they're just gonna do it twice as hard. I always tell her, sweetie, you are a grown woman who can make your own decisions, but I would rather you do it where I can keep an eye on you. I want you to be safe. Ain't that right, sweetie? Ain't that what I tell you? That is what you tell me, Daddy. She can have a little bit. She wants to be cultural. You know, this sort of drink's real popular where we're going, and she wants to sample the local cuisine. Ain't traveled much, but after my boys went on you guys' little boat, she's been eager to get out and see things, maybe find a boy of her own. Ain't that right, sweetie? Dad!
Yeah,
I like
that's
how as a
fair
DM,
enough.
you basically get to have conversations with yourself.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Well, he will get her a small glass of it then.
She smiles and downs it like a champ. The Don,
Someone's
for his part,
inexperienced.
the Don, for his part, simply knocks back his bottle of root beer, and you can see him kind of shake his head as the caffeine hits him, and just, oh, that wakes me up. Thank you for your hospitality. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a platinum piece, which he slides over the counter to you.
Oh.
Oh, more than what it was worth. But
Like I said, I never forget a face or a favor.
far be it from me to say no.
Vinny, if you and the boys aren't too busy, would you mind going and getting the breaker ready for when we get there? And make sure you do a proper head count. Don't want no one being left behind. The captain, good captain, want him behind the wheel.
Oh, also, keep your eye out for a little halfling guy. He usually sneaks on board regardless of whatever we do. Just don't stop me, but he'll probably
Why do
be
you
there
have to
one
give
way
him
or
so much
another.
trouble? He's just running a business.
Yeah, but he's going to show up anyways. I just don't want him to get, messed with when he doesn't need to be.
We will treat this friend of yours as part of the crew. You have my word. Vinny, you think you can handle all that? Sure thing, boss. On it, boss. And all the goons start to file out, although a few of them do grab drinks on the way. Now, do you have any questions for me? Otherwise, my last business here, Francesca and I are going to go gather our things, get our little replica book, and bring it with us on board. Want to make sure this goes smoothly. Don't want any water getting on its pages. Don't want its leather getting sneezed on, that sort of thing.
I don't have anything for you. Anyone else?
Oh, I've got just the thing. And I'm going to go through my bag and just take out a large plastic Ziploc bag.
Well, that would just be perfect for what we're trying to do here. Thank you for being so resourceful, Dr. Coe.
Honestly, you can just call me Asari.
No. You worked hard for that doctorate. You deserve the proper respect. I'm either going to call you doctor or I ain't calling you for dinner.
Yes, sir.
He smiles to all of you. All right, come on, sweetie. We got to get back and get our things. Make sure you bring that necklace you like, the real shiny one. That's what's going to attract the boys and girls out there in Yav. You want to shine like a dragon horde. And with that, the two of them disappear out into the streets of Torridge.
That poor girl.
Eventually, you make your own arrangements and head down to the docks. Your gathered crew, that is only expanding by the mission, with Compan's goons and the crew you guys have assembled, for the first time since it first hit Torridge, the breaker is actually properly crewed with the amount of people you would expect on a boat like this.
Nice. How's the crew handling having the Dawn on board?
Roll insight.
Let's see. 16.
All right. Looking around, it seems to be about what Anna had told you. The first mate seems kind of closed off. He keeps he's always facing the dawn, arms crossed and nostrils flaring. Obviously does not trust him. The captain is quite the opposite. He's very casual about it. As far as you can tell, he doesn't even really give the Dawn any more acknowledgement than just a simple nod of the head. You know the captain's lived here for quite a while, so perhaps the two of them have rubbed elbows in the past, but you don't know the extent of that. The rest of the crew, who are either less perceptive or less cautious, are surrounding the Dawn, being pushed back by the goons, and bombarding him with questions. Which, to his credit, the Dawn answers all of them amiably and carefully, and seems to have already enraptured your crew under his sway.
Oh, hopefully that doesn't end badly, but fair enough.
I wonder if even the crabby pirate that hired us might enjoy his company.
Yeah, if you're in the right circles, I hear everyone likes this guy.
Well, it's hard not to, but makes you seem like he's a little too nice.
I agree. Nobody comes out of this place that nice. You all gather aboard the vessel, and the Dawn smiles to everyone. Now, Captain Town, do I have your permission to speak freely to your crew? They are, after all, professionals, and I would hate to seem like I'm subverting your authority as captain. By all means, old beans, state your mind. He gives the captain a smile and turns to the crew, who quiet down. All right. Now, as our doctor friends have already passed word on to all of yous, we are doing a very important mission. What we've got here is a duplicate of the next treasure key. Now, what all yous decide to do with the keys once you got them is yours business, and I'll help in any way I can. But all that matters to me right now is that all of you take a load off, relax. My guys will take care of everything about getting us there. I don't want to see any of you working, otherwise you are going to be very firmly told to go down to the crew's quarter and relax. Understand me? Vaven, you catch the swabby kind of mumbling under his breath like, new captain?
Or even just like give him a nudge.
What? Come on, we get to go everywhere and don't even have to actually work the ship? That's awesome!
Yeah, but don't you think it could get boring after a while?
Clearly you've never had to swab a deck 30 times. Ugh.
Well, like somebody needs a break.
From the sounds of it, we're getting one. And he rubs his hands together delightedly as the dawn continues. And once we get there, I've gotten everyone tickets for the Tieshin Express. It's a quick little jaunt up north, and then there's a village there. I know a doctor there. We're gonna get everything sorted out. At this point, Anna she doesn't interrupt, but she does look to all of you and kind of give a slow nod. It seems she has not informed the Dawn of her side of the bargain, but is making sure you all remember it. He can get you there, but she can get you inside, if Alfred's siblings are to be trusted on the matter.
We are talking about thieves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will give her a small, imperceptible nod back. Like,
Also,
don't you worry.
my siblings are here? I know those talked about like
Not here, but Anna basically sent word to them to meet you guys at the train station when you got there, so that they could. Apparently, they know a necromancer that can get you past the security systems, whatever those may be.
Well, that worked.
Now, does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns of the like before we make sail?
No?
Well, then let me just say it is a pleasure to be sailing with such fine, salty heads of the sea like all yous guys. I hope my men can learn something from people as worldly and traveled as all of yous. Well spoken, Godfather. Well, you heard him, boys. Step lively. This thing isn't going to get to the freezing parts of the world on its own. She's going to fight us tooth and nail every step of the way.
Interesting how we're going there again.
At this, you hadn't actually thought he was listening, but the first mate actually pipes up. Things tend to gravitate around there. Likely will not be last time.
Well, it definitely would be interesting if we had to go back there again. And the first mate's the one that's, not very trusting of the Dawn, right?
Yeah, he definitely does not seem to want him here.
So what are your views on the Dawn? I can't quite place the name.
He is liar. Sneak thief.
I mean, like, something just doesn't quite sit right. He's too nice. Well, at least that's what he's putting on.
I can barely hear you, Jeremy. What is he saying?
You'll have to turn him up. He sounds fine on my end.
Okay.
He's basically just saying, like, yeah, he seems too nice, something's off. And the first mate gives a nod. Rest of crew does not see it. But we see. Compan family is not to be trusted. They commune with things. Things we cannot see. Either mad or knows too much.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
He is also old. However old he told you he was, he lied.
He actually didn't give us an age, just said that he was old.
There are things he knows that we do not. We must hope they will not lead us astray. If
Well,
this is the only way to get key, I will trust you. But be careful.
We will. And if it comes down to it, we'll try to get out as quick as possible. We do have teleportation abilities.
He gives a nod.
I do want to do. You guys are done.
Alright. He gives you a nod, and crew and I have safe place we can go. For the sake of the quest, when the dawn turns on us, take your friends and the keys and return here. We will make our way to safety. You will come back and find.
Okay. Y'all just make sure to survive.
Surviving is specialty.
That's what I like to hear.
As the crew begins to disperse, although they're forced off by the mafia goons to indeed just at most amble around on the deck and chill, or head down to the crew's quarters to rest. Most of whom gleefully take up the opportunity although you do catch a fair few who are a little unsettled by not being busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Unsettled are probably a little put off too.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, you had something?
Yeah, I would like to speak with Anna.
Of course. You find Anna in her usual spot in the galley, uh, uh, sitting with hunched over an archaeological textbook, where she is currently doing some studies on the complete chronology of time.
Okay, is this just like a singular room that we're in?
Yeah, it's basically the galley, which is near one of the gun decks. Anna usually hangs out in this area to research while you guys are out at sea.
Okay, I'll enter and then I'm gonna close all of the doors and sit next to her. There's something I want to talk to you about.
All right.
You said that you found a necromancer?
Well, I didn't find them. Alfred's brothers. Apparently, they knew someone.
Do we even know, like, anything about this guy? I mean, necromancers are tend to, like, not good, you know?
Well, I said the same thing about mafia goons, and well, here we are.
I mean, you know what they do.
You know what they do, and she nods her head onto the deck above.
Yeah, she kind of, like, looks a little uneasy, but concedes. It doesn't make me stop worrying about the situation.
I'm
I mean,
not exactly thrilled, not exactly pleased as punch about it myself.
I mean, do we know anything about this guy? Like,
They just said it was somebody they knew back whenever they traveled while Alfred was away. I didn't exactly press for information. I figure if Alfred trusts them and they trust this necromancer, then, friend of my friend is my friend, hopefully.
and this is like the realm where, like, they're opposite. They're like nice people. They're not like actually Zephyr and Caleb. It's the ones, right?
Yeah, it's their mirror counterparts.
Okay. She'll just kind of like sit back and.
How does that help us? We're not in the mirror universe.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about, I guess, the Bedra.
Sighs and just. Well, hopefully necromancer means something completely different in that realm.
Yeah, let's hope so. They didn't tell me why we were going to need a necromancer specifically, just that we weren't going to be able to get the key without one.
Yeah, that does worry me. Why do we even need a necromancer in the first place?
Might be one of those, like, arcane locks kind of things. I mean, and she shows you, like, an archaeological sketch along with one of her own of the chronology of time. Look at the arcane locks on this thing. It would take a master wizard to even try breaking these.
I mean, honestly, like, the intelligence that it would take, because, like, when I was looking at the sheer illusion, it just kept on changing.
Well, that's accurate to the stories. Way I hear it, you'd have to be at least as intelligent as a dragon to even start reading it. This language isn't even spoken by spellcasters anymore.
Yeah, I'm sorry, kind of pout. Well, a pot dragon.
I don't think that counts.
It surely counts for something.
She kind of snorts a little bit, but doesn't press the matter.
She just kind of. All right. Well, I mean, if you trust it, and Paul, I mean, Alfred trusts him, I guess it's all right. But I can't promise we won't put our guards down.
I'm happier with you having your guards up than anything else. Might make us seem unfriendly, but well.
Well, I mean, in my experience, you can be friendly and still, you know, have your guard up.
She kind of gives an odd look to you at that, but again, does not press the matter, simply returning to her book.
What? You've never tried that?
No, just, you know, this seems like one of those things where you know what you're talking about in theory, but can't actually, do it.
What must be liking your silly little brain? She kind of gives a little jab.
She kind of gives a small snort, although you notice the smirk does not fully reach the eyes.
What's wrong?
She kind of shakes her head and just, I'm fine, just that lots going on right now. I'm having to do more than I usually do, and I'm not comfortable with our traveling company. Never really have been, but it's one thing to be traveling with a bunch of, well, to be honest, weirdos that we met over the course of our adventure. It's something completely different to put my faith in someone like him.
What, the Don?
She kind of gives a jerkish nod.
Why do you not have any faith? Why are you so scared?
She thinks for a moment, and I know you traveled a lot after we graduated. I didn't. I came to live with the professor here in Tordage because I wanted to study the doorway, find out if it was real, learn about the keys. And do you have any idea what it's like for someone like me, knowing what I know in a town like that? People were harassing me every day for information. Even when I told them the truth that I didn't know anything, they thought I must be hiding something. Even whenever I first met Alfred and his friends, the Boomergangers were attacking me. I genuinely didn't even know anything yet. I just knew where the door was. I had no idea where to even start with the keys. But they thought I had to know something, so they tried to beat it out of me. Your friends kept me safe.
I'm gonna reach out and just take her hand. I'm glad that they were there, and I'm sorry I wasn't. I understand. I mean, don't really understand, but I want to.
At this, you can see her shell kind of crack slightly, and she gives you a cautious but still open look. And I know it's hard for you, but there are things that you don't know that I do. And there are things that everyone knows that you don't. Where you come from and the fact that you were taught in a school where others had to learn in different places, it doesn't make us better than them. I understand people like your friends. They speak the same language. They need me because without me they can't find the keys. The compass can only get them so far. They'd be wandering all over the globe, just going off of a single plane of direction. But I can't get the keys without them. But unlike you, I can't fight. I know how to use a whip and a knife, and I can protect myself. I've certainly been doing it long enough, but fighting mafioso with a scimitar coming at you is different than, you know, all this dragons and pirates and cultists and...
At this, you see Asari just kind of chuckle to herself. Honestly, I am not a fighter. I know I talk big, but this, I don't have that type of experience to defend myself. If it wasn't for our friend, the one in the suit, I don't think that we would have made it out alive in many of the places that we've been up until now. And, you know, it's hard when you don't know something. And sometimes when you don't know something, that's when you learn something.
She gives a bit of a smirk, and... once we get this key, even if it is as easy as the Don says it's gonna be, well, I've already heard of Aben talking about it, that we're gonna have to make a stand. Whether we take the fight to them or they take it to us, we have no idea who these people are, what they're really capable of. Really, we barely even know what they want.
Well, I actually had an idea about that. As she kind of like looks at Anna intensely. I'm going to read the book.
She doesn't even seem surprised. She just blows right through that statement as if it's the most obvious thing in the world. Obviously.
I know, but if we can see, if we could just see what would work and all of the possibilities with it in our fingertips, really, how could we refuse?
I don't... see, this is what I'm talking about. You don't understand. These things we're getting, they're not meant to be used by us. If half the legends I'm reading about this book are true, there's only one person ever that's supposed to be able to open it, at least at one time. Even if you could get past all the locks, even if you managed to break it open, there's so many different possibilities. It could be millions, billions of timelines for every possible outcome of this battle. Do you really think you can handle all that without killing yourself?
It's a sacrifice something to make at this point. We need to know. Even if I know millions and trillions of different versions and we all die all at the same time except for in one version, I still would be happy to know if we're gonna die. I'd like to know.
Knowing's not gonna make you feel any better. It never has.
Not about feeling better. It's not about mortality at this point. It's just, if you know it, you can accept it, right?
And what about the rest of us?
I know. I'm not trying to be so stubborn. I'm really not. I really, really, really think that it benefit us.
I'm not gonna stop you. I don't think I could, even if I wanted to. I know how you get whenever you got your mind set on something, but I just want you to think. If you pop that thing open and your head explodes, that knowledge dies with you. I lose my best friend. This team loses you.
The look on Asari's face as this is like she had not considered that.
I want you to trust me, to trust the rest of us. I knew what I signed up for getting into this. Because I knew that Alfred, that Greylog, that even Avaben, that all of us would stick together. No matter what happened, no matter who the Boomergangers are, what they want, what they throw at us, that there's still some good people in the world. That they're all not just the tortage scumbags who are out for their own wallets.
Sari squeezes her hands and just, I promise I will put a lot of thought in. And after all, I wouldn't want you to lose the best person in the entire world.
You're never gonna let me live that one down. This is what I get for being vulnerable with you.
She
just
like fucking just throws her hands around her and just squeezes her.
Remember what the professor always said. Knowledge is knowing whether a tomato is a fruit or a vegetable, but wisdom is knowing not to put it in a salad.
Pretty sure that's how we go.
I need you. I know the Dawn's buttering you up with all this talk about our degrees. We worked hard, but this isn't the classroom anymore. And I don't want you to lose the joy of discovery, Asari, but I don't want it to consume you either. Let's learn together. Explore together like we always wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Now, if it makes you feel better, I realize that he's trying to help us. So I understand. But it doesn't hurt to be cordial.
Just...
Like I said, you can be friendly with having your guard up.
She gives you a smile, and as she lays the book back down and starts to look through it again, she pauses briefly and... You know what's the funny thing about always knowing more than everyone else?
Alright, what's that?
You're gonna get real caught off guard when the idiot beats you anyway. When we were on our first trip, Alfred and I, a shark jumped onto the ship. Massive, big beast thing. Must have gotten spooked by the storm that was going on. And you know what he does?
I mean, did he just put it back in the water?
He starts using that bucket of his and pours water on its gills to help it breathe.
Oh.
All of us thought he was crazy, but it worked. If you had told me, even if the gods themselves came down and said, you will be saved from a giant shark by a guy in a suit with a bucket, I would have just thought they were off their conker.
I mean, that's fair.
But she gives a bit of a shrug, and being smart's great and all, but on this journey I find that sometimes stupid things get things done too.
I can understand that from experience. I mean, look at Greylog.
I knew you were going to say something like that.
No. She has that shit-eating grin. Like, totally joking though.
What is the story there, anyway?
Oh my god. Just met, and it was like a whirlwind, and we were just stuck together after that, and he's been there for me. Despite all of the crazy things that he does, I do love him.
She gives you a small but kind smile, and I'm glad you have someone there for you. And I hope you stick around to keep being there for each other for a while.
Anna, gods themselves couldn't stop me. I think we both know I'm too stubborn for that.
You got me there. Well, unless you feel like disobeying just to be a brat, maybe take the Dawn's advice and relax a bit. I got some reading to do.
To read? It's relaxing. Hello?
Fine, but if anyone asks, we're reading, I don't know,
Porn.
one of those new novels that they're working on.
Oh my god.
And
What,
she-
like 36 Shades of Red or something?
She gives you a smirk and slides a archaeology textbook to you.
I just like open up and just sniff the pages.
All right.
I do that.
The long journey
my goodness.
to Yav begins. Is there anything anyone would like to do over the course of this trip?
I just want to, keep an eye on the goons. Make sure they're not sabotaging the ship or anything.
Roll
While
perception.
trying not to make sure that they see me.
Roll perception and stealth. Give me the results separately.
Roll this. He falls by rolling himself.
At least.
I've from my
Also, I'm on to you, Matthew.
from my
I'm sure
experience,
you are.
I'm gonna get
Which one? You said perception?
Perception and stealth.
I'm gonna get a glass or metal dice tray just so that people can hear me when I roll whenever I'm DMing. I'm like,
Oh yeah, ever since I got this glass table, I love doing that. It's
just out of nowhere, you just roll.
Perception is 23.
okay, and stealth.
19.
Okay. Greylog, as Asari and Anna, deliberately failing the Dawn's orders, continue their study. Alfred, you continue to keep the ship tidy. And as the sailors are at a tentative rest, Greylog, you carefully monitor the mafiosos as well as the Dawn and his daughter as they survey the long journey to the freezing waters of Yav. Returning to at least the mirrored homeland of Alfred Gorey, where yet another key lies in wait. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
I know it was coming.
Yeah.
No way around it.
Yeah, one party member down. It's around that time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's mostly just it's around the time. And I
Oh,
figured this is a
well.
good place for it anyway.
I was getting tired anyways.
So, the party has negotiated a deal with the mafioso of Tortage, Don Campan, who, in exchange for the services you've already rendered for him without realizing it, has agreed to freely give over his key, a complete chronology of time, to the party if you help him get his fake one swapped out for the real one at Dr. Surnatural's museum. Meanwhile, Anna, not trusting the mafioso to keep his bargain, has made her own arrangements. Alfred's family will meet you at the train station, and apparently they know a necromancer who is more than willing, apparently, to help you with whatever bizarre security is preventing you from simply taking the book and giving you unrestricted access.
I'm squinting at you.
You know this could be hilarious. Amanda kept saying he, but there's a female necromancer that we know of in the Tuesday campaign.
It's
Yeah.
true.
So I was
Lucian.
like,
Lucian.
Nessiel.
Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to be resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer helping steal a book.
Oh yeah, no, which he would totally do though.
Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get your podcast from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions. Check out the Odd Tornado Productions YouTube channel to catch up on what you've missed. And check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Paladins Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon. That link to be posted as well. On Ko-fi at kofi.com/oddtornadoproductions, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/tornadoodd, TNO capitalized, if you want to get immediate updates whenever we go live, as well as updates on any other projects we got going on. And if you want to see more of this party plus or minus a few, tune in tomorrow, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, for our Tuesday game of Black Ink and Blue Blood, featuring a party of politicians and nobles trying to unravel a political conspiracy if they can just stop stabbing each other in the back long enough. Thanks everyone at the table so much for playing. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.